Think plastic surgery always ends with a flawless Hollywood glow-up. Behind the red carpets and perfect selfies are shocking transformations that left some of the world's biggest stars almost unrecognizable. From frozen faces and botched fillers to cosmetic disasters that ended careers, these true stories will leave you stunned. Let's count down the celebrity transformations that went way too far. Number 1. Joan Van Ark. When the mirror stopped looking familiar. For years, Joan Van Ark was one of television's most recognizable faces, winning audiences over with her unforgettable role on Knots Landing. Her elegant smile and timeless beauty made her a household name. But as Hollywood's obsession with youth grew stronger, Joan found herself fighting a battle that many stars know all too well, the battle against time. Unfortunately, it was a battle she couldn't win. Her cosmetic journey began with a rhinoplasty, followed by eyelid surgery that dramatically changed the appearance of her eyes. Determined to keep chasing a younger look, she later added facelifts, Botox chemical peels, and other skin-tightening treatments. Instead of creating a refreshed appearance, the repeated procedures left her face unusually tight, pale, and almost expressionless. Fans who had admired her natural beauty for decades were shocked by how dramatically her features had changed. Some even joked that her face looked as if it had forgotten how to blink. By the time she reunited with the Knots Landing cast years later, the conversation had shifted from her remarkable acting career to her startling transformation. Yet behind the headlines was a familiar Hollywood story, a talented actress trying to survive in an industry where growing older is often treated like a flaw instead of a privilege. Number 2. The Duchess of Alba. A fortune couldn't buy back time. Imagine having unimaginable wealth, dozens of royal titles, and access to the world's finest surgeons, yet still losing the battle against aging. That was the heartbreaking reality of Spain's legendary Duchess of Alba. Famous for her aristocratic elegance and extravagant lifestyle, she seemed to have everything money could buy. But when it came to preserving her youthful appearance, even a royal fortune wasn't enough. Beginning in the 1980s, the Duchess reportedly underwent a long series of cosmetic procedures, including facelifts, rhinoplasty, lip fillers, and Botox injections. At first, the changes were subtle, but over time they became impossible to ignore. Combined with Melkerson-Rosenthal syndrome, a rare condition that caused chronic facial swelling, the repeated surgeries dramatically altered her appearance. Her once delicate facial features became unusually tight and distorted, leaving many people shocked whenever she appeared in public. It was proof that sometimes Mother Nature simply refuses to negotiate, even with royalty. Despite endless media attention, the Duchess never allowed criticism to define her. She continued living life on her own terms and even married again at the age of 85, proving that confidence can outlast beauty. Number 3. Linda Evangelista, the supermodel whose beauty treatment became a nightmare. What if one simple cosmetic procedure erased the face that made you a global icon? That's exactly what happened to Linda Evangelista. As one of the most celebrated supermodels of the 1990s, she graced more than 700 magazine covers and defined an entire era of fashion. But behind the glamorous image was a decision that changed everything. Hoping to eliminate a few stubborn areas of fat, Linda underwent several cool sculpting treatments, a popular non-invasive procedure that promised quick results with no surgery. Instead, she suffered an incredibly rare complication that caused the treated fat cells to grow larger and become rock hard. Rather than looking slimmer, her body became visibly distorted. Imagine paying to lose fat, only to end up with more of it. Talk about the worst refund policy ever. Multiple corrective surgeries failed to restore her appearance, forcing Linda to disappear from the spotlight for years. The woman once considered one of the world's most beautiful faces suddenly found herself hiding from cameras, proving that sometimes the biggest risk isn't getting older, it's trying too hard to stop it. Number 4. Lisa Rinna, the lips that became Hollywood's biggest warning. For decades, Lisa Rinna's lips were as famous as her acting career. They weren't just a signature feature, they were practically a celebrity of their own. But what began as a small cosmetic enhancement in her early 20s slowly turned into one of Hollywood's most talked about beauty regrets. Inspired by the glamorous stars of the 1980s, Lisa chose permanent silicone lip injections, believing they'd keep her looking youthful forever. Instead, years later, the silicone hardened, creating painful lumps, uneven swelling, and lips that looked anything but natural. After living with the damage for nearly 25 years, she finally underwent surgery to remove scar tissue. Unfortunately, some changes simply couldn't be undone. But the lips weren't the end of the story. Botox, facial fillers, and other cosmetic procedures gradually transformed her face until many longtime fans barely recognized her. Looking back, Lisa openly admitted that she had gone too far and wished she had stopped sooner. Her experience became a powerful reminder that when chasing perfection, sometimes the mirror stops reflecting the person you once were. Number 5. Kenny Rogers, the surgery that changed a legend forever. Kenny Rogers spent decades proving that a great voice never goes out of style. With timeless hits like The Gambler, he became one of country music's most beloved icons. But even legends aren't immune to the relentless pressure of aging in Hollywood, and one decision would change the face millions had grown to love. In the late 1990s, Kenny turned to cosmetic surgery, hoping to refresh his appearance without losing his signature charm. Instead, facelifts and eyelid surgery left his face unnaturally tight, his eyebrows permanently raised, and his once warm expression almost impossible to recognize. Fans were stunned. The rugged storyteller who had always looked approachable suddenly appeared more like a wax figure than the man behind the music. Sometimes the biggest gamble isn't at the poker table, it's in the surgeon's office. Unlike many celebrities, Kenny didn't hide from the criticism. He openly admitted the procedures were a mistake and said he regretted altering the face that had been part of his identity for so many years. Although the surgery changed his appearance forever, it never diminished his remarkable talent, leaving behind a powerful lesson that true legends are remembered for their legacy, not for looking younger. Number 6. Goldie Hawn, the smile that fans barely recognized. For decades, Goldie Hawn's infectious smile and radiant charm made her one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Whether she was making audiences laugh or lighting up the red carpet, her youthful energy seemed effortless. But as the years passed, whispers about cosmetic surgery grew louder, and fans began noticing something had changed, and not everyone believed it was for the better. By the mid-2000s, Goldie's appearances sparked widespread speculation about Botox facial fillers, facelifts, and eyelid surgery. Her cheeks appeared noticeably fuller, her forehead remained almost wrinkle-free, and her skin looked unusually tight. Instead of restoring the natural glow that audiences adored, the procedures left her with a surprised expression that rarely seemed to change. Some fans joked that her eyebrows looked permanently shocked, as if she'd just read her own grocery bill. While the humor was harmless, the reactions highlighted how dramatically her appearance had evolved. Despite the endless headlines, Goldie never let public opinion overshadow her remarkable career or vibrant personality. She continued acting, supporting charitable causes, and inspiring generations with her optimism. Her transformation reminds us that Hollywood's pressure to stay forever young can affect even the biggest stars. But true beauty has always been about much more than a wrinkle-free face. Number 7. Melanie Griffith, Hollywood's beauty battle that went too far. Melanie Griffith was once one of Hollywood's brightest stars, captivating audiences with her natural beauty and unforgettable performances in films like Working Girl. But in an industry where every wrinkle is treated like breaking news, the pressure to stay forever young became impossible to ignore. Unfortunately, that pursuit came with a price. Beginning in the late 1990s, Melanie reportedly turned to Botox, facial fillers, lip injections, and facelifts to preserve her youthful appearance. At first, the changes were subtle, but repeated procedures gradually erased the soft, expressive features that had made her so recognizable. Her lips became noticeably fuller, her skin appeared unusually tight, and her facial expressions looked increasingly frozen. Fans were shocked by how dramatically she had changed. It's amazing how chasing a younger face can sometimes make people miss the one they already loved. Years later, Melanie openly admitted she hadn't realized how different she looked until others pointed it out. She eventually dissolved some of the fillers in an effort to regain a more natural appearance. Number 8. Daryl Hannah, the star who almost became unrecognizable. During the 1980s and 1990s, Daryl Hannah was one of Hollywood's most captivating actresses. From Blade Runner to Splash, her striking beauty and effortless charm made her an unforgettable screen icon. But as the years passed, the pressure to stay forever young led her down a cosmetic path that changed far more than her appearance. Reports suggested Daryl underwent eyelid surgery, facelifts, Botox, and lip fillers in an effort to fight the signs of aging. Instead of restoring her youthful glow, the procedures gradually gave her face an unnaturally tight look. Her cheeks appeared overly full, her lips lost their natural balance, and her once expressive eyes seemed permanently surprised. Fans were stunned by the transformation. It's ironic that Hollywood calls it a facelift, because in some cases, it seems to lift everything except people's confidence. As public attention shifted from her acting to her appearance, Daryl slowly stepped away from the spotlight and devoted more of her life to environmental activism. While opinions about her transformation remain divided, her story highlights the enormous pressure celebrities face in an industry obsessed with youth, and reminds us that lasting impact comes from talent and purpose, not perfection. Number 9. Michaela Romanini, when chasing youth became an obsession. In the 1990s, Michaela Romanini was one of Italy's most glamorous socialites. With striking features, designer fashion, and a jet-set lifestyle, she seemed to have it all. But behind the cameras, Michaela became convinced that looking good was never good enough. What started as a few cosmetic touch-ups soon spiraled into an obsession that completely transformed her face. Her journey began with collagen lip injections and Botox treatments, hoping to preserve her youthful appearance. At first, the results looked subtle, encouraging her to go back for more. But over the years, repeated fillers and additional cosmetic procedures dramatically altered her once elegant features. Her lips became oversized, her skin appeared unnaturally stretched, and the woman once praised for her beauty became almost impossible to recognize. Ironically, every procedure meant to make her look younger seemed to age her even faster. It's like trying to erase a pencil mark with a flamethrower, effective, but probably not the result you wanted. Number 10. LaToya Jackson, the face that changed beyond recognition. Growing up in one of music's most famous families was never going to be easy. But for LaToya Jackson, the pressure to maintain a flawless image became almost impossible to escape. While she enjoyed success as a singer and television personality, It was her dramatic physical transformation that eventually grabbed more headlines than her career. LaToya reportedly began with a rhinoplasty, inspired by the cosmetic changes her brother Michael Jackson had already embraced. But one procedure quickly became many. Facelifts, cheek implants, chin augmentation, eyelid surgery, Botox, and facial fillers gradually reshaped nearly every feature of her face. With each new procedure, her appearance became tighter, sharper, and less familiar. Fans who had watched her for decades struggled to recognize the woman they once knew, while critics compared her frozen smile to something straight out of a wax museum. That's one way to stay wrinkle-free, but not exactly the compliment most people are hoping for. Despite years of public criticism, LaToya continued moving forward, with confidence, refusing to let the headlines define her. Number 11. Dolly Parton, the queen who refused to let time win. Dolly Parton has never pretended to be completely natural, and that's exactly why fans love her. The country music legend has spent decades entertaining the world, with her unforgettable voice, dazzling personality, and iconic look. But behind the rhinestones and big blonde hair is a woman who's openly admitted she's had plenty of help from cosmetic surgery. As Dolly famously joked, "It takes a lot of money to look this cheap." Funny, absolutely. But there's more truth behind that line than most people realize. Over the years, Dolly has undergone rhinoplasty, brow lifts, eyelid surgery, facelifts, Botox, and other cosmetic enhancements to preserve her signature appearance. While many of the procedures kept her looking youthful, repeated treatments gradually gave her face a tighter, smoother, almost porcelain-like appearance. Some critics argued she looked more like a perfectly polished doll than the natural beauty fans remembered. Still, unlike many celebrities who deny going under the knife, Dolly has always embraced the conversation with honesty and humor. Number 12. Donatella Versace, fashion's queen who couldn't escape the mirror. As the creative force behind one of the world's most iconic fashion empires, Donatella Versace has always lived under an unforgiving spotlight. After the tragic loss of her brother Gianni Versace, she not only inherited a global brand, but also constant public scrutiny. And somewhere along the way, her appearance became almost as famous as the runway collections she created. Over the years, Donatella reportedly underwent multiple cosmetic procedures, including rhinoplasty, facelifts, lip fillers, cheek enhancements, Botox, and eyelid surgery. At first, the changes appeared subtle, but with each new procedure, her face became noticeably tighter and more sculpted. Her lips grew dramatically fuller, her cheeks appeared unusually prominent, and her skin developed the smooth, glossy look that sparked endless headlines. Some fans even joked that she looked as polished as the luxury mannequins in her own boutiques. Unfortunately, not every fashion trend belongs on a face. Despite decades of criticism, Donatella has never allowed public opinion to slow her down. She remains one of the most influential figures in the fashion industry, proving that her creative vision has always outshined the gossip surrounding her appearance. Number 13. Mickey Rourke, the Hollywood heartthrob who paid the price of every punch. There was a time when Mickey Rourke was considered one of the most handsome men in Hollywood. With his rugged charm and unforgettable performances in films like 9½ Weeks, he had the world at his feet. But chasing another dream, professional boxing, would leave him with injuries that changed his face forever and sent him down a long road of reconstructive surgery. After suffering multiple broken noses, fractured cheekbones, and severe facial trauma in the ring, Mickey underwent a series of reconstructive procedures to repair the damage. Unfortunately, the surgeries didn't restore the face fans remembered. Additional nose jobs, cheekbone reconstruction, Botox, and facial fillers gradually gave him a swollen, uneven appearance that shocked audiences whenever he stepped onto a red carpet. Mickey later admitted he had trusted the wrong surgeon, joking that he went to the wrong guy to put my face back together. That's probably one review no doctor wants on their website. Despite becoming nearly unrecognizable, Mickey never lost the talent that made him a star. His powerful comeback in The Wrestler reminded everyone that true greatness isn't measured by perfect looks, but by unforgettable performances. Number 14. Janice Dickinson, the supermodel who couldn't stop chasing perfection. Long before social media created beauty influencers, Janice Dickinson was already making headlines as one of the world's first supermodels. With striking features, fierce confidence, and an unforgettable runway presence, she helped define an entire era of fashion. But behind the glamorous image was a relentless pursuit of perfection that eventually became one of the most dramatic cosmetic transformations in Hollywood. Janice's journey began with breast augmentation before expanding into multiple facelifts, liposuction, Botox, facial fillers, and cheek enhancements over the following decades. While each procedure promised a fresher, younger appearance, the combined effect gradually erased many of the natural features that had made her famous. Her skin became unusually smooth, her cheeks appeared overly sculpted, and her expressions lost much of their natural warmth. Fans who once admired her timeless beauty were left wondering if the quest to turn back the clock had accidentally fast-forwarded it instead. Never one to hide from controversy, Janice openly discussed her surgeries and even appeared on television to correct a breast augmentation performed decades earlier. The financial cost was just as staggering as the physical changes, with years of expensive cosmetic procedures contributing to serious money troubles and eventually bankruptcy. Number 15. Brigitte Nielsen, reinventing herself at a cost. Standing nearly 6 feet tall with striking features and undeniable confidence, Brigitte Nielsen was impossible to ignore during the 1980s. From Rocky IV to Red Sonja, she built a career on her bold presence and unforgettable look. But as Hollywood's spotlight shifted toward younger faces, Brigitte decided to fight time head-on, and the results became one of her most talked-about transformations. Unlike many celebrities who kept their procedures secret, Brigitte openly documented her cosmetic journey on reality television. She underwent facelifts, eyelid surgery, liposuction, Botox, facial fillers, and other enhancements in hopes of refreshing her appearance. While the early results seemed promising, years of repeated procedures gradually left her skin unnaturally tight and her facial expressions less animated. Fans noticed that the woman once celebrated for her strong, expressive features now looked dramatically different. It's a reminder that even the best special effects belong in movies, not always on real faces. Number 16. Suzanne Somers, the smile that time couldn't freeze. Suzanne Somers wasn't just a television star, she was America's sweetheart. Best known for her unforgettable role on Three's Company, Suzanne built her career on charm, confidence, and a smile that could light up any room. But as Hollywood's obsession with youth intensified, she found herself chasing an impossible goal, looking forever young. Over the years, Suzanne reportedly underwent facelifts, Botox treatments, facial fillers, and other cosmetic procedures to preserve her youthful appearance. While the treatments initially delivered smoother skin, repeated enhancements gradually left her face unusually tight and expressionless. Her lips became noticeably fuller, her jawline appeared overly sculpted, and many fans felt the natural warmth that once defined her beauty had begun to fade. At one point, people joked that her forehead looked so smooth It could double as a mirror. But behind the laughs was a serious reminder of Hollywood's relentless beauty standards. To her credit, Suzanne later admitted that not every cosmetic decision had worked out as planned, acknowledging that some fillers shifted over time and produced results she didn't expect. Yet she never lost the optimism and positive spirit that made audiences love her in the first place. Number 17. Caitlyn Jenner, a transformation that kept evolving. Few celebrity transformations have attracted as much global attention as Caitlyn Jenner's. After publicly beginning her transition in 2015, Caitlyn underwent an extensive facial feminization procedure that included brow lifts, jawline contouring, rhinoplasty, cheek enhancements, and other surgeries designed to create softer, more feminine features. The dramatic transformation quickly became one of the biggest stories in Hollywood, with millions watching every step of her journey. But the evolution didn't stop there. Over the following years, Caitlyn reportedly continued with Botox facial fillers, lip enhancements, and additional touch-up procedures to maintain a youthful appearance. While many praised the confidence behind her decisions, others noticed her face becoming increasingly smooth, tight, and less expressive. Her forehead remained almost wrinkle-free, her cheeks appeared fuller, and some critics joked that time seemed to have lost permission to leave a single line behind. Unfortunately, perfection rarely comes with an instruction manual. Despite the endless public scrutiny, Caitlyn has continued to embrace her identity and live life on her own terms. Whether admired or criticized, her cosmetic journey remains one of Hollywood's most talked about transformations. Number 18. Anastasia Pokryschuk, the woman who took fillers to the extreme. When most people ask for cheek fillers, they want a subtle boost. Anastasia Pokryschuk had a completely different vision. The Ukrainian influencer set out to create the biggest cheeks in the world, transforming herself into one of the internet's most unforgettable and controversial faces. Love it or hate it, once you see her, you're not likely to forget her. For more than 6 years, Anastasia has spent thousands of dollars on facial fillers, Botox, and cosmetic procedures, repeatedly increasing the size of her cheeks until they reached record-breaking proportions. While critics questioned whether she had gone too far, Anastasia proudly embraced every new enhancement, insisting that the larger her cheeks became, the more beautiful she felt. At this point, her cheekbones could probably enter a room a few seconds before the rest of her. It may sound funny, but her commitment to her vision has been anything but casual. Her dramatic appearance has sparked worldwide debates about beauty standards, body image, and the growing influence of cosmetic enhancements on social media. Some experts have expressed concern about the potential health risks of repeated filler injections, while others see her as an example of radical self-expression. Whatever your opinion, Anastasia's transformation proves that beauty means something different to everyone, and sometimes the most shocking makeover is the one that's completely intentional. Number 19. Pixie Fox, the woman who turned herself into a living cartoon. Most people visit a plastic surgeon hoping to look a little younger. Pixie Fox had a completely different goal. She wanted to become a real-life cartoon character. Inspired by animated princesses, the Swedish model embarked on one of the most extreme cosmetic transformations ever seen, undergoing more than 200 procedures in pursuit of her dream. What began as a bold makeover quickly became an obsession that captivated and shocked the world. Over the years, Pixie dramatically enlarged. Her breasts reshaped her nose, altered her ears, underwent jaw contouring surgery in South Korea, and even had a controversial eye color changing procedure that many countries consider too risky to perform. Every operation pushed her appearance further away from reality and closer to fantasy. Fans couldn't decide whether they were looking at a Disney princess or a character that had accidentally wandered out of an animated movie. Either way, she was impossible to ignore. But behind the headlines came serious health concerns and growing questions about the physical and emotional cost of such dramatic changes. In a surprising twist, Pixie later revealed that she wanted to reverse several of her cosmetic procedures and move toward a more natural appearance. Her incredible journey proves that sometimes the biggest transformation isn't changing who you are. It's realizing you may have gone too far in trying to become someone else. Number 20. Priscilla Presley, the beauty secret that became a public nightmare. For decades, Priscilla Presley was admired for her timeless beauty and graceful elegance. Best known as Elvis Presley's former wife and a successful actress, she seemed to age far more slowly than most Hollywood stars. But behind her youthful appearance was a cosmetic decision that turned into one of the entertainment industry's most shocking cautionary tales. In the early 2000s, Priscilla reportedly received facial injections from an unlicensed practitioner who was later accused of using industrial-grade silicone instead of approved cosmetic fillers. Rather than enhancing her appearance, the injections left her face noticeably swollen, uneven, and far less natural than before. As the years passed, fans became increasingly concerned as every public appearance sparked fresh speculation about what had gone wrong. It's safe to say this was one beauty appointment that definitely deserved 0 stars. Although corrective treatments helped improve some of the damage, the changes could never be completely erased. Despite the criticism, Priscilla continued appearing in public with confidence, refusing to let one cosmetic mistake define her life.